Please, Khaled, don't pair me or compare me. Unless the said party is a rare breed. The stories I hear, they tend to mirror me. At this point now, rap is only therapy.
In the beginning of the season, I made an MVP predictions video, and to be honest, I wasn't that far off. I predicted LeBron James being MVP because he'd put up ridiculous numbers with the absence of Kyrie, and would you know, he is. But with the lack of winning from the Cavaliers and his inability to carry them through the dysfunction at times, most people don't have him leading the race, including me. I also predicted that Kawhi Leonard to be right there with LeBron, if not edging him. However, Kawhi clearly missed most of the season, therefore disqualifying him from the race. And third, I had Russell Westbrook with the idea that he would still put a near triple-double, which he basically is, but the lack of winning from the Thunder is holding people back from voting him, and rightfully so. But there was one guy I clearly missed the ball on, and that was James Harden. James Harden this season has been phenomenal, and he's definitely exceeded all my expectations and a lot of people's expectations. I thought going into this season, James Harden would take a big enough dip statistically to take him out of the MVP race, but this didn't happen. He's increased his scoring, leading the league with 31 points a game, increased his efficiency from the field, the three, and the line, still averages around 9 assists while lowering his turnovers as well, while still averaging a solid 5 rebounds a game. And on top of all the stats, he has managed to work with a big part of the team in Chris Paul, made it work, and now have the best record in the NBA and will probably win 60 plus games this season. The combination of statistical dominance and winning has made James Harden the prime candidate for the MVP, and to be frank, most people didn't expect this. And you know what? Instead of just saying James Harden should win MVP, let's take it a step further. James Harden should be a unanimous MVP. Yes, a unanimous MVP. No, he should not be the second unanimous MVP of all time, but he has built up a season deserving of a unanimous MVP. Being the unanimous MVP, by definition, is when a player accumulates all first place votes for the MVP award. Meaning no matter how close it is between the other candidates, if you ask 100 people if you think James Harden deserves it over everyone else, and 100 of those people say yes he does, then he is the unanimous MVP, regardless of who they put second or third. Now let's just go down the list of candidates that are competing with James Harden for this title, because that's going to be the main thing that determines if James Harden is a unanimous MVP. Number 1, we got LeBron James. While his numbers have been amazing like they usually are, this year, there is no way I'm giving the MVP to a guy who's led his team so far to the 4th seed in the East, when coming into the season, people were telling me that the Cavaliers were better than what they were last year. Next, we got Russell Westbrook. So the biggest draw about Westbrook last season, aside from the triple-double, was the fact that he was doing it without help. During the offseason, he got a top 15 player in the league in Paul George, and they apparently stole Carmelo from the Knicks, giving him the star power that he desperately needed now that KD's gone. Yet here we are 70 games in, and they're on pace to win 47 games again. Next, Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry to me has missed way too many games to be in consideration, and we already know people are going to pull up the stats how much worse they are without Curry to damage Durant's case for MVP, but even aside from that and them being unpopular picks for MVP, James Harden has simply had a more impressive campaign this year compared to those two guys, leading his team to a better record as well. Now Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard, these two guys have been on fire lately. And the biggest case for these guys, aside from the hype they're receiving because they're hot, is the fact that they're carrying their team to the 3rd or 4th seed with less help. But let's talk about why they still don't deserve the MVP over James Harden, even if they keep this up. Number 1, the MVP has never been given based on who's carrying the most. It's been primarily on winning games. And, of course, with the combination of statistical dominance. Wait, let me change that, because last year, they did it for Russell Westbrook when the Thunder were only a 6th seed, and they did it for Michael Jordan in 1988 with the Bulls only winning 50 games as a 3rd seed. But notice the few times they did it for. Notice the names I just named. Michael Jordan in 1988. This was a guy who won Defensive Player of the Year, averaged 35 points on 54% shooting, put up 6 assists and 6 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block and a half per game. And the other guy I mentioned was Russell Westbrook, who averaged 32 points, 10 assists, and 11 rebounds, being the first to average a triple-double since Oscar Robertson. I'm sorry, but Dame leading his team to the 3rd seed when there's a 12-game gap difference between the 2 and 3 seed, putting up 27.7 assists and 5 rebounds, is not a reason to say it's an exception. I'm sorry. And the same can be said for Anthony Davis as well. 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks is amazing. Don't get it twisted. But David Robinson put up 30 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks, with the second best player being Dale Ellis, and did not get the MVP. Anthony Davis is also not an exception. Number 2, we're not giving this award based on half a season. I get that what Anthony Davis is doing is amazing considering it's without Boogie, but where was this when Kobe was essentially doing the same in 2013 when they were almost out of the playoffs? Dwight, Gasol, and Nash were consistently injured, but Kobe was single-handedly carrying the team. Voters still gave the award to LeBron, one vote off of being unanimous himself, because he simply had a better season and a more consistent season overall compared to Kobe. Where was this when Russell Westbrook went ballistic and nearly averaged a triple-double in the end of the regular season when we've never seen it before, when Kevin Durant got injured for a majority of the 2015 season? Stephen Curry still got the MVP because he had a more consistent and impressive season as a whole compared to Russell Westbrook. Aside from that, I think it's clear that Harden is having a better season than everybody else in the league. What should happen is if you ask 100 people, if you ask them, is Harden having a better season than LeBron? They should say yes. Is he having a better season than Westbrook? They should say yes. Is he having a better season than Kevin Durant? They should say yes. Is he having a better season than Stephen Curry? They should say yes. Is he having a better season than Anthony Davis? They should say yes. Keyword, they should. But what probably will happen is one guy is going to be a homer and vote for Anthony Davis. 2 more guys vote for Dame because they stay sleeping on Dame. And if Coward gets a vote, then LeBron will get one too. But by all accounts, I believe James Harden should get a unanimous MVP this year. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Should James Harden get a unanimous MVP this season? But with that being said, I'm out. Peace.